my art-loving people. Today I'm going to share with you my favorite art supplies for 2024. And just because I'm only showing a few things in this video doesn't mean that I don't love almost everything in my studio, but I had to break it down so this video wouldn't go on for a day. And if you're watching this on Black Friday, maybe you can find some deals, even though it's being released a couple days before Black Friday. Or I don't know, this year it seems like Black Friday's been going on since last week, so maybe you'll find some good deals today. Enough talking, let's look at the art supplies. Let's start with the paint. And if I didn't mention it already, this is mostly, well, I think almost everything here except two things is for the watercolor artist, because that's my passion, paint. So one of the first things that gives me a lot of joy are my core watercolor paints. These are so lovely, and I made up this palette out of the 10 that 24 set of tubes came in, and I just love it. You can see I've had an incident with the yellow, but we will talk about that in another video. That's also why the swatch sheet is not in the palette with it, because we have a problem yellow in there, but I will get into that in the future. But core, QOR, an absolutely delightful pigment-filled paint that any artist should enjoy, in my opinion. Another brand that really gives me joy is the Alkali brand. Now, I have not actually had the chance to paint with these all that much. As far as full paintings go, I just haven't had the chance to do that. But every time I've swatched them, the one painting I did, I didn't do much layering in it because I've heard that can be a problem with these, but they're just delightful paints, delightful pigments, and just beautiful. Look how beautiful. And the palette gives me that good feeling when I look at it. I also love my Roman Schmal paints. They are such a joy. They have that delightful pigment feel just like the Alkali paints, and they're just beautiful. Look at this beautiful palette. Don't you agree? They're beautiful. And I know this one is debatable in a lot of parts of the country, but I really like my Rosa Gallery paints as well. They're, again, paint that comes in full pans or tubes, and they're just fun to work with, and they have some beautiful colors. And then something that I keep dying to play with again are these Paul Rubens granulating and special layering paints. I only have one of those two sets, but I did test them out and they are delightfully delicious, and I can't wait to get back to them. In honorable mention for all the paints are my Paul Rubens and Light Wish sets. Some of the paint is great, some is just okay, but they come in the most delightful palettes. You can see this one has that fun design. This Light Wish set, just for the palette alone, is worth the purchase price, especially right now because this whole Black Friday week and everything. All Paul Rubens and Light Wish products are 20% off at least. So getting this palette and the paint that comes in it seems pretty darn nice. I have a video about that I can link for you. But man, just the palette alone, I love this palette. So yes, any Paul Rubens or Light Wish watercolors, you might just caveat to your artist, if they're a professional artist, that you thought they would enjoy the 10, because there are mixed reviews on the paint, although the majority of everyone I've talked to loves them. So that is a good segue for moving into paper, because some of the paper I absolutely love the most are these Paul Rubens papers. This is glitter paper. Yes, it has glitter on it. Do you see that delicious sparkle? It is so awesome. It's a delight to work on. The glitter is pretty subtle. Here is a painting that I did on the glitter paper. So you can probably tell that glitter, once you paint on it, it's very subtle. And here's another painting I did on the glitter paper. Again, really subtle, but it's there, it's nice, and it just kind of catches your attention every once in a while. You're like, wait, what is that? Is that glitter? But not overwhelmingly. And it just paints like beautiful cotton paper. I love this stuff. Another paper you just cannot go wrong with is the Arches. I really do like their blocks. Their individual pads are nice too when you just want a piece of paper, but the blocks are great because Arches is really dry paper. You get it wet, it's going to start bending a lot, warping a lot. So having it on a block is really helpful. These were all painted on the Arches 12 by 16 block. So you can see it keeps the paint nice and vibrant, in my opinion. These are all various paint brands, the Roman Schmal, the Core, the Rosa Gallery. So all this is a painting in progress. This was with Holbein paint, so I use all my different brands, but I get really fun results with this paper. Another paper I really enjoy is the Bao Hong Artist Watercolor paper. I have not tried the Academy version, at least not that I know of, but I love this paper. This is also a block. It is about 9 by 12.2 inches, and here are some paintings I have done on this paper. Similar paintings to the big ones I've shown you because I like to practice them smaller before I do them bigger. And here's that Arches one again. Finished. So yes, Bao Hong paper is delightful. Let's segue from paper into sketchbooks because it seems like that only makes sense, right? I love these Etcher sketchbooks. They're 100% cotton paper and they are just delightful to paint on. You can see I do a lot of different stuff in them. You can get fine little detail or more loose, crazy work. They're just enjoyable. I like them so much that I have one that only has one page that I have left to do in it. And then this one is completely finished and they come with canvas covers so you can paint them yourself. But yep, a completely finished A4 size sketchbook here. And every time I pulled this out to use it, I was happy about it. So that should tell you something, right? You just have a sketchbook you're very excited about. That helps. Another one I really get excited about is this Bao Hong sketchbook, and it pretty much feels exactly like the Bao Hong paper block I showed you. You can see you just get real pretty colors. It holds the vibrancy of your colors. Here's the A Gallo painting I did. It's pretty much the only one with that set. So anyway, lots of fun to be had in the Bao Hong sketchbook because it's easy and fun to use. Next up is the Cotty Fat Book. This is just a joy to use. The paper's really weird. It's like this super thin cotton rag, soft feeling stuff. I don't know, it's bizarre, but for some reason I love it to pieces. I really enjoy painting on it. The reason this book doesn't have that many paintings in it is because I just haven't had time to paint in it a lot, but I do have a small version that I have almost completely filled up and I love it. And if you can't get the fat book, you can get Cotty loose leaf papers, which are really fun to try. You can get those on Amazon even. This one's only available at Jackson's Art Supply, so you'll have to give it some shipping time, although they're pretty fast. But you can also just get their smaller sketchbooks too, and in my opinion, it's the same paper. Some of it you can buy a little more thick though, so that's a nice thing to try. And then I love this. This is more like a sketch folio than a sketchbook, but it's so darn cute. I mean, the size of it is just handy. You can throw it in a bag pretty easily. It comes with, not this sketchbook, I put that one in there. It's my Inktober sketchbook, but it comes with this watercolor hot press sketchbook, a liner, a water brush, and their famous color sheets watercolors. You have a complete set ready to go. And they have just come out with 2 new folio kits. They're called their Meditate with Art kits. And you can see, here's one here. This is a zipper case, as you can tell. And it comes with a watercolor coloring book, which is also hot press paper in my opinion, that you can get in 3 different themes. So you get to choose from the 3 themes what you'll receive in your book. And it comes with color sheets that are different than their classic set. A couple of stickers, instructions, some scent sticks, and it does have a pretty strong smell, so beware of that. If you want the kit but not these, you just toss these when you get them out, or if you love scents, then keep them. Burn them while you're painting your art project. Water brush, which is a pretty decent size, and again, a fine liner. So that's this one that zips. The other one here is cork, but this one does not zip, obviously. You saw that it came with the band, and Again, I got the same activity book because I just wanted to. Anyway, same thing. Water brush, mine fell out. Fine liner, paints, pockets for everything. So I haven't tried these two out obviously, but I have tried this one and I love it. So this one is available on their website along with their slightly larger size of this. But these two are only available through their Indiegogo campaign. However, you can get 2 of them for $60, I think. I'll link everything below. We'll do some random supplies real quick and then I'll get into some of the more really fun stuff. Random art supplies that I really find useful are these Faber-Castell collapsible water cups. I travel to teach college classes twice a week and I take these with me. I also take them on all of my traveling trips with me where I am bringing a lot of paint and have the room for them. The one disadvantage you can see here, because I'm pulling cat hair off, is because I pulled them out of my travel bag. Of course, the cats have walked by them now a few million times. They do collect animal hair because they're silicone. These cute little things give me a lot of joy when I think of them. So these are the Neo Color 2s. I have hardly used them, but every time I do, I love them. And every time I see a video released on YouTube with them, I'm like, I should probably watch that when I can. And then this silly thing, I don't know why this gives me so much enjoyment, but I think because it makes me feel like a kid again. And I kind of customized this palette. It did not come looking like this. You'll have to look it up, but it did come with all of these pans you see over here, but they were laid out more in a palette style, but I altered mine to suit my needs. So it's holding my Daniel Smith gouache and the Caran d'Ache gouache, since I forgot to mention that's what this is. This is a Caran d'Ache gouache palette and it's so fun painting with it because, like I said, it makes you feel like a kid again, but yet the paint works pretty okay. And then I put my Sarah Burns gouache brushes. Another thing I would highly recommend are these beautiful brushes that she put out for gouache painting. You can get those over on Craftimo. And I think they're having a sale right now too. I mean, who in the world isn't having a sale right now? What would a favorites video be without my favorite pencil? This is the Grip 1345 Faber-Castell fully retractable mechanical pencil, so it won't poke through your bags. Apparently there are a lot of other brands that do the same thing, but this is the one I have always used. This one was a gift because I only had one. One 0.5 that is. I did have a 0.7, but I like the 0.5s because they leave less of a line on your watercolor paper. Plus you can see this eraser is nice and fine, so you can erase little things and it goes in and out. And you can get refills for the eraser. I think it was $10 for these 3 erasers, but hey, at least it's an eraser refill. So many of the things in this video are things that are in every gift guide I put out each year. It just seems to be the same stuff over and over again for the most part. So if you want to, after you're done with this video, definitely go check out those other gift guides I've done in the past because I still stand by almost everything in those videos. I'll link those in the description box below and in the iCards. Back to miscellaneous stuff. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White, very useful. Get your white highlights back and whatnot. And then one thing I don't think I've ever put in a video before is this eraser. This is just a Faber-Castell white eraser, and I always take my little version with me, and this one is a Derwent one. So white erasers, I really like them, plus the kneaded eraser. And then I just have this out to show you the brush case, because this is what I take to the college classes every single week, several times a week. And when I travel, and I pull it out at home when I'm ready to paint, because sometimes I want these brushes, not the ones in my drawer. So it's great because it'll hold your brushes, keeps their tips safe, so you never have to worry about the tips of them. You are all set to paint when you get to your destination. There are 2 things in here I would like to show you that are my favorites. This masking fluid applicator, it's just called a color shaper. It's probably something you'll find in the clay section of your local art store. So it's the silicone end, it goes to a fine point, and I use it to apply all my masking fluid. And then this brush here was given to me by my daughter-in-law many Christmases ago or birthdays ago. Same difference, my birthday's on Christmas. And I pull this out anytime I need a way more detailed area to be painted, but I need it to hold a lot of paint. This is the Silver Black Velvet size 6 round brush. Indispensable. In fact, I'm thinking I might try and pick up more of these. I haven't decided yet. I use my other brushes and I'm fine with them, but I'm starting to really love that one even more. So maybe I'll get more. I don't know. While we're on the subject of brushes, I tend to pull these out every year too. These are the Fumui travel brushes, and they're great because they fold up like so. These are ones I haven't gotten to yet to review. Oops. That comes with 4. Wow. So this is my original set back when they used to just pull out and slip on the end. And I never had any trouble with that. They do wiggle around a little bit. I haven't had them fall off. And I could probably squeeze this a little bit to make it more of an oval shape, and then it probably would stay on and not wiggle. I mean, it already stays on, but it wiggles. But anyway, these are great because they come in a lot of different sizes. So the round set is one I really love because you have from really big down to this pretty small one. This is a round size 4. And when you get it wet, you can see how fine of a point it comes to. So you can do a lot of tiny little detailed stuff. Plus they've made the openings big enough that you don't have to worry even when the paint brush is dry like this one is. You can usually get them back in without risking the hairs on them. But this one was kind of poofing out, so I may have stuck that in my mouth and you did not see a thing. The newer versions here come with screw-on handles, which prevents any wiggling and whatnot, and you can get them in different varieties. This happens to be a round with a cat's tongue, with a flat, with maybe another round. So really fun variety. Just go look up Fumui on there. They have a website, or you can look on Amazon, and they are always really well priced. Most of them are natural hair or a mix of natural hair and synthetic, but you can probably find some that are all synthetic. I haven't looked. I actually thought these were synthetic because they're so affordable, but I have since learned differently that they are not all synthetic. Anyway, great brushes. I love them. One sketchbook I forgot to mention as of this morning, the morning this video is coming out, these are available. Can you believe it? They are doing one final run on this Dina Wakley Media Journal, and they only let a certain amount be sold each day, and then it says sold out on their website. So if you go to buy this, I'm going to tell you what this awesomeness is in a minute, and it says sold out, do the little email me when available thing, and they'll bring stock out again. And I think they're only selling this through the end of the year, maybe even for less time. But this has many different surfaces in it. It is incredibly inspiring, and I will use mine someday. Watercolor paper. Well, they claim it's watercolor paper. It's rag paper. I have no idea how well it will take watercolor because I haven't gotten to try it yet. And then this crazy burlap. So you move from watercolor paper to burlap, back to watercolor paper, and then you get linen. What the heck? I think it's so fun though. And eventually some of the things repeat, obviously, because it's a signature, and then you get craft paper. Okay, so you have watercolor paper, burlap, linen, and craft paper. So if you're working through this sequentially, it'd be so much fun because you're like, okay, what am I gonna do today? Watercolor. Okay, what am I gonna do in 3 days? I have to figure out how to use this burlap. That should be fun. And then the linen, and then the craft paper. I don't know. It's just awesome. Okay, now on to the really, really fun books. I don't know why I love these so much, except for the Joanna Basford. I know why I love those, but I don't know why I love these so much. Like, the paper is not amazing or anything. I just think it's the execution, okay? It's the execution. So these are watercolor instruction books. You can see here, you have one page with the instructions, an example of the finished picture, which colors you're gonna use, exactly how to do it, and then an already drawn sketch for you that you can paint following the instructions. It's just awesome. So this is not cotton watercolor paper. It's just regular old cheap watercolor paper, but you can see here's one I did in The Jungle Book. Dana Fox is the author, by the way. Here's one I did in The Ocean Book. Very fun. Here are a few I have done in The Forest Book. So the feathers, and there should be, yep, a mushroom in here somewhere. I may have tried starting, oh, I did. The ladybug. Anyway, lots of fun here. The jungle one is half the size of these others, and I have heard it might be different paper than these other two, but I think you can still have fun with them regardless. These are often buy one, get one free, or buy two, get one free around this time of the year. So they'll be linked below as well. And then this one is just another watercolor coloring book that I'm dying to try more of. I've only gotten to do one in here so far, and it was fun. Again, it's not the greatest watercolor paper. None of these books are. However, if you wait 10 or 12 days, my watercolor coloring book is going to be released, and it will be on 100% cotton watercolor paper that I know and trust. So subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell if you want to be aware of when that's happening, because it'll be released on my community page and in a video here on this channel. However, Sarah Simon, she has some really cool books out that are watercolor instruction booklets. So it's the same idea as the book I just showed you, just slightly different format, and I think you could have a lot of fun with them. And then my favorite books that are not watercolor books, but they're fun books, are Anything by Joanna Basford. That lady is just so darn cute that I just want to hug her. Anyway, instead, I buy a lot of her books. One of my favorites is The 30 Days of Creativity because, see, signed by her. I have my copy that's signed by her. Anyway, you have places where you can just color, or you get to draw first and then color. And then she does kind of give you examples and how to draw things. So she doesn't just leave you in the lurch on, hey, draw this cake. She says, okay, here are the steps. Now try this cake, try these other cakes. It's just so much fun. This one here is just a regular coloring book that I have not done any coloring in. Oh wait, I guess I have done coloring in it. Yay me. Anyway, lovely book. And then this is another how to draw book that she put out, which is so fun because there's all these things you can color still. Plus, she teaches you exactly how to draw all the good stuff that she draws. Isn't that fun? It's so fun. The last thing I'm going to show you are palettes, and I'll try and be fast. This one is so cool. So this has a magnetic clip on it, and you can see it clips. You can clip it onto your sketchbook. Pretend my hand's my sketchbook. It's clipped. It's not coming off. All's well. And then it opens. It has a magnetic clasp, and you have some mixing space. And then I made this swatch sheet that I can just Velcro here. So this is clipped onto, and you can change direction for the clip. This is clipped onto my sketchbook, my swatch sheets there, and I'm painting away. So I have used this several times. I really love it. I think it's amazing. Way better than the Fun 2 ones or whatever those little green ones are that they're showing around the internet a lot now. This feels like metal, but I think it's probably just really, really well-coated plastic, but I could be wrong. It might be, no, it's not metal. It might be aluminum though, because magnet wouldn't stick to it, but it just feels like it's really good quality. That really squished my finger. So when I have it closed, my swatch sheet just flips over and Velcros to the top there, and then it goes in my bag like that. I always mention these portable painters, even though this one is still empty. I have taken paint out of my other palettes, half pans, and put in here and taken this with me before and used it, but I have not committed to filling this with paint yet, but I want to. I definitely want to. The water cups clip on the end. It's just so nice, and then it shuts up like this, and this goes over these to hold it together, and then you need this to hold the clip when you're not using it. So it's just a great, ingenious palette. And then they have a miniature version here, which I actually use more often. So again, it comes apart and clips all back together. And then your paint goes in here, and they have a bunch of different pan sizes in here. So you can have up to 16 colors, I think, in this little palette, which is crazy. And then it's strong enough. I use this part here and an office clip to clip it to my sketchbook. And then I did the same thing with the Velcro. I have where I Velcro my swatch sheet on, so when this is clipped, I know where my colors are, which I only have 6 in here, so it's not hard to remember, but there, now they match the layout of my palette. I actually think I use this one to clip it onto my sketchbook. That makes more sense. Regardless, it clips onto your sketchbook. It's awesome. And another palette that gives me warm fuzzies is this one. This is the Kuretake Gansei Tambi Portable palette, and it's just the cutest thing ever. I love the paint colors in it. The natural beige and this gray work really great when I'm out painting. I really like this stuff. You don't get a whole lot of paint in there, but it's lasted me so far. Also comes with a water brush and a liner. One thing I forgot is this Westcott ruler because it's awesome. 12 inches by 2 inches see-through, so you don't have to always do the hatch marks when you're measuring something because you can see through it. If you need to draw a line at 1/2 inch, you just line up the lines on the ruler at 1/2 inch and draw your line. It's so nice. Well, those are my favorites. Was anything in there intriguing to you? Are any of my favorites the same as your favorites? I would love to know in the comments below. Okay, again, remember, watch all my old gift guides from previous years because it's probably a lot of the similar things, but 4 years worth of gift guides, I believe. So you might find something pretty cool in those too. Well, thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. And you can get refills for the pencil. So this is not watercolor paper, or what? Did I forget anything? Ow, ow, ow. Let's see. I don't think so.